In the rolling hills of Midlothian, Scotland, lies Rosslyn Chapel, a marvel of Gothic architecture and a magnet for mystery seekers. Built in the 15th century by the Sinclair family, the chapel has captivated historians, artists, and conspiracy theorists alike. Why does this relatively small chapel feature carvings of pagan deities alongside Christian symbols? How could corn, a crop native to the Americas, be depicted decades before Columbus's voyage? And what do its intricate geometric designs and musical frequencies reveal about its creator's knowledge? Rosslyn Chapel, officially the Collegiate Church of St. Matthew, was commissioned in 1446 by Sir William Sinclair, a nobleman whose ambitions reached far beyond the ordinary. The Sinclairs were a powerful family with ties to Scotland's royalty and deep connections to the religious and intellectual movements of their time. The chapel was envisioned as a spiritual beacon and a repository of sacred knowledge. The original plans were for a grand cruciform cathedral, but only the choir and the east end were completed. Despite its modest size, the detail in its design surpasses many larger Gothic cathedrals. Every inch of the chapel is covered with intricate carvings, blending Christian iconography with pagan and esoteric symbols. One of the most striking features is the repetition of green man carvings, over 100 of them. The green man, a figure from pagan mythology, symbolizes nature's cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Its presence in a Christian church raises questions about the chapel's intent. Was it meant to unify different spiritual traditions? Or were the Sinclairs hinting at a more mystical understanding of faith? Even the architecture itself suggests a deeper purpose. The pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and flying buttresses are hallmarks of Gothic design, but their proportions and alignments hint at the use of sacred geometry. This mathematical approach to design was believed to reflect divine order, connecting the physical structure of the building to cosmic principles. Rosslyn Chapel wasn't just a place for worship, it was a statement of intellectual and spiritual ambition. At the heart of Rosslyn Chapel stands the Apprentice Pillar, an extraordinary work of craftsmanship surrounded by legend. The column is a spiraling marvel, adorned with twisting vines, floral motifs, and patterns so intricate they seem impossible for the tools of the 15th century. The story goes that the master mason tasked with carving the pillar deemed it too challenging. Seeking inspiration, he traveled abroad to study similar work, leaving his young apprentice behind. In his absence, the apprentice completed the pillar, producing a masterpiece that surpassed anything the master had envisioned. When the master mason returned and saw the pillar, he was consumed by jealousy and rage. Unable to accept being outshone by his student, he struck the apprentice with a mallet, killing him on the spot. The master was later executed for his crime, but the tragedy became immortalized in the chapel itself. Two faces are carved into the stone, one representing the apprentice, gazing serenely at his pillar, and the other the master, whose anguished expression reflects his guilt. But the story doesn't end there. Some theorists suggest that the Apprentice Pillar holds hidden messages, encoded in its spirals and patterns. Could it symbolize the Tree of Life, a mystical concept in both Kabbalistic and Masonic traditions? Or does it represent a deeper esoteric truth, accessible only to those who understand the language of symbols? This tragic tale and the pillar's stunning design continue to fascinate visitors, blending artistry with a haunting moral lesson about ambition and human frailty. Rosslyn Chapel's ties to the Knights Templar and the Rosicrucians have made it a focal point of speculation for centuries. These associations elevate the chapel from a Gothic architectural wonder to a potential repository of hidden knowledge, blending historical facts with enduring mysteries. The Templar order, disbanded in 1312 under pressure from the Pope and the French monarchy, is believed to have found refuge in Scotland. The Sinclair family, prominent patrons of Rosslyn Chapel, were reputedly allies of the Templars, and some legends suggest they safeguarded the order's treasures, including the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Inside the chapel, carvings of knights, double-barred crosses, and other symbols linked to the Templars hint at their presence. The Apprentice Pillar is sometimes viewed as a Templar emblem, representing the Tree of Life or spiritual enlightenment. Speculations even extend to Pre-Columbian exploration, with the corn carvings suggesting the Templars had contact with the Americas before Columbus. The Rosicrucians, a mystical order emerging in the 17th century, shared philosophical themes with the Templars. Their emphasis on alchemy, sacred geometry, and universal knowledge aligns with many of Rosslyn's carvings, such as the green men, angelic figures, and geometric patterns. These designs suggest an understanding of cosmic balance and spiritual transformation, hallmarks of Rosicrucian thought. Some theories propose that Rosslyn Chapel served as a meeting place or repository for Rosicrucian teachings, blending Christian and pagan imagery to encode a universal spiritual truth. Both the Templars and Rosicrucians were known for their use of symbols and coded messages. Rosslyn Chapel's carvings, musical cubes, and sacred proportions may be a deliberate attempt to preserve ancient wisdom in plain sight, accessible only to those with the knowledge to decipher it. Whether viewed as a Templar sanctuary, a Rosicrucian temple, or a synthesis of mystical traditions, Rosslyn Chapel remains an enduring enigma, a testament to the human quest for hidden truths. Rosslyn Chapel's connection to Freemasonry runs deep, rooted in both history and symbolism. The Sinclair family, who commissioned the chapel, held the hereditary title of Grand Master Masons of Scotland, making them integral to the development of stonemasonry traditions that eventually evolved into Freemasonry. Freemasonry, with its emphasis on symbols, allegories, and the pursuit of enlightenment, finds a natural home in Rosslyn Chapel. The chapel's intricate carvings are filled with Masonic motifs such as compasses, squares, and geometric patterns, which reflect the Freemasonic belief in sacred geometry, the idea that certain mathematical principles govern the universe and reflect divine order. The design of Rosslyn Chapel incorporates proportions believed to be sacred, such as the golden ratio. Found in nature, art, and architecture, this ratio is often associated with beauty and harmony. Scholars suggest that the dimensions of the chapel and its carvings align with these principles, making it not only a work of art, but also a physical manifestation of cosmic balance. The Apprentice Pillar, for instance, is a symbol of Freemasonic ideals. Its spiraling design mirrors the path of enlightenment that Freemasons seek, representing growth, knowledge, and the divine connection between earth and the heavens. The three pillars central to Masonic philosophy, wisdom, strength, and beauty, are believed to be echoed in the chapel's layout. Freemasons view architecture as more than a craft, it's a spiritual discipline. Buildings like Rosslyn Chapel are thought to encode secrets about the universe, accessible only to those who understand their language. Some theorists argue that the chapel was designed as a Masonic temple, intended to preserve and pass down ancient knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? Some suggest it could include esoteric truths about the nature of existence, while others propose that the chapel might encode astronomical or mathematical data, reflecting a deep understanding of the cosmos. Even the positioning of the chapel has raised questions. Its orientation, aligned with specific celestial events, suggests that the builders may have incorporated astronomical knowledge into its construction, a hallmark of sacred geometry. Freemasonry's connection to Rosslyn Chapel underscores its role as a bridge between the spiritual and the material, making it a monument not just of faith, but of reason and mystery. Perhaps the most perplexing feature of Rosslyn Chapel is its carvings of maize, a plant native to the Americas. These carvings appear on arches and bosses within the chapel, and bear an uncanny resemblance to corn ears, complete with kernels. The problem? The chapel was completed nearly 50 years before Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World. One popular theory is that the carvings are evidence of transatlantic contact long before Columbus. Supporters of this idea point to the Vikings, who are believed to have reached North America around 1000 CE. Could knowledge of maize have traveled back to Europe through these early explorers? Another potential source is the Knights Templar, who had a reputation for exploring uncharted territories. Some theorists speculate that the Templars reached the Americas during their secretive expeditions, bringing back knowledge and perhaps even seeds of maize. Skeptics argue that the carvings may not represent corn at all. Instead, they could depict stylized wheat or decorative patterns unrelated to the Americas. The resemblance to maize, they suggest, might simply be coincidental. If the carvings do represent maize, they challenge our understanding of history and exploration. The implications extend beyond the chapel itself, suggesting that knowledge and cultural exchange occurred far earlier than previously believed. This idea aligns with growing evidence that pre-Columbian contact with the Americas may have been more widespread than traditionally acknowledged. Regardless of the explanation, the corn carvings remain one of Rosslyn Chapel's most debated features, a puzzle that invites us to question the limits of historical knowledge. In 2005, Thomas and Stuart Mitchell uncovered a fascinating layer of Rosslyn Chapel's mysteries, its relationship to sound. They focused on the musical cubes carved into the chapel's ceiling. These cubes, each adorned with unique patterns, had long puzzled researchers. The Mitchells hypothesized that the patterns on the cubes represented musical notes. After years of analysis, they deciphered a melody encoded within the carvings, which they named the Rosslyn Motet. This hauntingly beautiful composition is thought to have been intended for spiritual ceremonies, adding an auditory dimension to the chapel's visual and symbolic richness. But Rosslyn Chapel's connection to sound goes beyond music. The chapel's architecture creates unique acoustics, amplifying certain frequencies in a way that seems intentional. Researchers suggest that the chapel may have been designed to resonate with specific vibrations, enhancing the spiritual experiences of those inside. Some theorists propose that these frequencies could align with the body's natural energy fields or even facilitate altered states of consciousness. This idea ties into ancient traditions that use sound and vibration for healing and spiritual awakening. Across cultures, sound has been viewed as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. From Tibetan singing bowls to Gregorian chants, the use of resonance and frequency has long been associated with healing and divine connection. Rosslyn Chapel's encoded music and unique acoustics suggest that its builders understood and harnessed these principles, creating a space where sound could elevate the soul. The discovery of the Rosslyn Motet and the chapel's resonance underscores the idea that Rosslyn is more than a visual masterpiece. It's a multi-sensory experience designed to engage both the mind and spirit. Rosslyn Chapel's allure lies in its ability to inspire wonder and speculation. Its carvings, symbols, and architectural design defy simple explanations, inviting endless interpretations. One of Rosslyn's most remarkable features is its synthesis of different spiritual traditions. Christian symbols stand alongside pagan motifs, while esoteric designs hint at secret knowledge. This blending suggests a worldview that transcends religious boundaries, reflecting a universal quest for truth. Theories about Rosslyn Chapel's connections to the Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and the Rosicrucians highlight its role as a potential hub for mystical and intellectual movements. Whether it was a repository of sacred relics, a Masonic temple, or a Rosicrucian meeting place, Rosslyn's layers of meaning suggest it was far more than an ordinary church. Today, Rosslyn Chapel continues to captivate visitors, researchers, and artists. Its mysteries have been popularized in books and films, most famously Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, which brought its legends to a global audience. But beyond the speculation and theories, Rosslyn Chapel stands as a testament to the power of human creativity and curiosity. It reminds us that some mysteries are meant to be explored, not solved, leaving space for imagination and wonder. Rosslyn Chapel is more than a building. It's a masterpiece of art, science, and spirituality. Its intricate carvings, hidden meanings, and enduring mysteries challenge us to think beyond what we know, inspiring us to seek knowledge and connection in every corner of existence. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of Rosslyn Chapel. From its breathtaking carvings to its possible connections with secret societies, the chapel reminds us of humanity's enduring quest for knowledge and meaning. If you enjoyed this exploration, please like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing stories. What do you think lies behind the legends and symbols of Rosslyn Chapel? Are they evidence of hidden knowledge, or are they simply the imaginative artistry of a bygone era? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, my dear spooker, stay curious.